you were not only like the honors at the Drummers Collective, but even when you're 14, you won some kind of award, and like you were doing really, really, really well with the drumming. And like Ed Soph, he was talking to North State, Texas about a recommendation for you, the scholarship at Berkeley, Manhattan School of Music, Juilliard, and then you went back to Saginaw, Michigan.
Yep.
Talk to us about that, man. Like that is literally, like I think it felt when I discovered that about you, it's like, that's like the opposite of what I would expect a person to do that did so well and seems to love drumming so much. What made you do that?
Well, I wanted to go to Berkeley. Mm-hmm. I had a partial scholarship, but just at the time, it was just like, just the whole New York thing, family issues, you know. We were dealing with a death in the family, I think, around that time. It just didn't come together.
Wow.
It was just like, I'm looking back now, it was just like a force, you know. It's not that it couldn't. I mean, yeah, if I really would have, you know, I was discouraged, you know, I really was.
Any particular thing that caused that feeling?
I think it was, I felt like I wasn't going to finish.
Oh.
Just not finish, fill in the blank. It's just finish. Just finish something in life that, you know, because my original dream was to fly jets in the Air Force, you know.
Really?
Oh, man, I want to be like the first Black Rambo, bro.
That's amazing. that was I'm crop zooming the shit out of that, man.
Serious.
So that's so cool, man.
But because I had ulcerative colitis, inflammatory bowel disease.
Okay.
They removed most of my large intestine around 13, 14 years old.
Really?
So because my stomach was open that far and the type of surgery I had, it's on the no-fly list, which means, you know, it's like, it's cool. I was like, okay, well, I'll be a SEAL. You know, they were just like, yeah, you'll be restricted from a lot of that type of stuff simply because you're on this list. And it beat me up. So I was like, man, what am I going to do in life? The collective came along. So I started to take music seriously.
Yeah.
So now I can't finish. It's like, oh, what am I, dude, I don't know what else I'm going to do. I'm 18 years old, 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? Like, I was mad. I was like, I don't want to do corporate America like my dad. You know, of course, I'm grateful he, you know, took care of his family, did the best he can do with what he had. I'm not knocking the job. As per what I'm saying is that doesn't make me happy. It's that's not who I am. I don't want to do that, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that devastated me. And it's like the only thing I felt like I had at the time was the church, you know?
Yeah.
And I went back home, started playing. First of all, I left this particular church and only to go to school, you know, nothing negative or anything like that. The pastor, he was not from my hometown, Saginaw, Michigan. He was from Cleveland, Ohio originally. But he had been living in Saginaw, pastoring at this church.
Okay.
The timing was perfect because just before I went to the collective for like a year and a half, I was the drummer there, got close to him. I mean, he's like one of my best friends to this day, you know?
Yeah.
And I went to school for a year. I come back, and in that year, I'm coming back. I'm like, man, I need work, you know? And we call him Rev. Rev found out that, you know, I was home. So he's like, we need somebody because our guy just left. He's like, look at God, you know, look at God, you know, working it out, you know? So the timing was perfect. The other drummer was leaving for whatever reason, so I was able to kind of slide back into my position.
Right on.
I didn't ask for it, I did not, you know, it just happened that way.
Yeah, sure.
Shortly after that, he was like, man, it's time for me to go back to Cleveland and start my own, you know.
Okay.
So he took his elite, you know, he felt that was his elite, and we all moved to Cleveland, Ohio. That's how I became a correctional officer.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And so this time after the collective and, you know, doing the ministry stuff, and working as the corrections. And you also did something on an airline, is that right?
Yeah, I worked for Continental Airlines for a little while. Yeah.
So all this shit, you know, like, and you're thinking the whole time, like, you must have a burn still, like you're burning for drums, right?
Yeah. And, but imagine this. I wasn't burning, it was burning.
Ah.
And I was like, I'm trying to smother it.
Whoa.
Because of discouragement.
That's unbelievable, man.
I was trying to kill it.
Wow.
I'm like, drums ain't for me. My dad and my uncles, they left the road. You know, they had the possibility to take off, but they left the road. You know, they wanted to get married, have kids. They knew they weren't going to make it on this salary, 60, 70 bucks, 150 bucks or a night. You know, I can't raise a family on this. This was back in their day, you know? Yeah. So I'd already seen that. I'd already seen that story, and here it is happening to me.
Wow.
And I'm like, bro, it was burning. It was burning, but I subdued it. That was some of the darkest years of my life.
Wow.
Darkest years, man. Just dark. Just in here, you know?
Sure.
Just dark because I could give a rat's ass about a drum at that point.